We're looking at a significant severe weather threat later today and tonight. And let me just say up front, I think it's dangerous for, trying to compare these events to past outbreaks like, April 27th of last year or April 1974. It just doesn't make sense because every outbreak is different. So that's a game that you don't play now. You can go back and look at it later. But there is a significant chance of severe weather for most of West Alabama this afternoon and tonight. The Storm Prediction Center has the enhanced moderate risk out that includes Tuscaloosa County and all the adjoining counties for this afternoon and tonight. And this morning, they went high risk for areas north of us. The high risk is for parts of Tennessee and Kentucky. But understand a moderate risk is very significant. In terms of timing, we might see severe storms as early as 1 or 2 o'clock this afternoon. And initially in the first 6 hours, say from 1 o'clock until 7 o'clock. The storms that form will be scattered and discrete, and those could produce a few tornadoes. And those are the ones to really watch. It's not going to rain everywhere, and the sun might be out at times. In fact, it'll be close to 80 today. But from about 1 until 7 o'clock, the chance of tornadoes. There could be a long-track tornado somewhere over north or west Alabama. So we'll have to watch that. And then later tonight, after 7 or 8 o'clock, the risk changes over to damaging straight-line winds with the squall line passing through, a long line of storms. And everything should be over by midnight to 2 o'clock, something like that. So that's the timing. And the call to action, it's pretty simple. Number one, everybody's got to have a way of getting warnings. And it should never be a siren. That's a last resort. Those things reach a limited number of people outdoors. They will never be effective in reaching people in a house, a business, a church. So, weather radio is the minimum. And once you get the warning, you flip on the radio or the television for the details. And then, of course, what are you going to do? If you get a warning, if you live in a mobile home, you've got to leave. And where are you going? You've got to think about that. And if you're in a site-built house, know where you're going. And be sure the kids know. And we all know it's a small room, lowest floor, near the center, away from windows. And have a kit of things that you might need. And helmets are a big deal. We're pushing that this year because a big study came out from UAB that supports this, that can really save your life if you take a direct hit. Is a tornado. Many of the people die from wounds to the skull region there. So helmets, batteries, cell phone chargers, shoes, with hard soles, if you take a hit, things like that, medicine. And we'll get through this. It'll be over by, midnight to 2 a.m., and the weekend will be cooler and drier. So significant severe weather threat this afternoon and tonight. We'll be watching it, and we'll keep everybody advised.
James, what concerns you the most about this storm?
I'd say that the potential for 1 or 2 long-track tornadoes. And we all know those are the ones that can be violent and very persistent. And what we don't know at this hour of the day is if we have 1 or 2 of those, where will they be? We don't know. Nobody knows right now. If they are in the middle of a rural area where nobody lives, then it's no big deal. If it hits a populated city, it becomes a major story. And that's the one thing we just don't know. So that's obviously the greatest concern. But the good thing about those things is the fact that typically you're going to get a good warning, maybe 30, 35, 40 minutes in advance for something like that. So for the larger tornadoes, the warnings are typically good, and you get plenty of time to do something about it. But we can't blow off that straight line wind damage with a squall line. That could knock down a lot of trees late tonight. Again, it'd be a rough ride, but we'll get through it together.
Okay, now with the storm system that just struck the Midwest, I know that we can't really say for sure what the storms that are coming our way will do today, but can the storms that are coming this way be as violent as those that hit the Midwest?
Yes, the system can do that. It certainly can, and whether it happens in Kentucky or Tennessee or Alabama, we just don't know. But yes, and of course, this will be happening during the peak of the daytime heating process, so as opposed to the pre-dawn hours, this will come at a time where the air is pretty unstable. We could see a few of those. But remember, even with large tornadoes, when it comes to a whole county, that's a small area. So nobody should be alarmed or panicked. A lot of people have a horrible phobia after what happened last year. And just take a big, deep breath and relax and understand that tornadoes are small compared to a city or a county. And we'll get through this together. The warnings are good. And if you hear the warning and if you get into a safe place, you will be just fine.
Well, Mr. James Spann, we want to thank you so much for joining us and giving us an update. And thank you so much for all you do. Have a great day.
Hey, my pleasure. We'll get through it together. Have a great day now. Bye-bye.